China didn't fall apart. It didn't implode. It didn't get overtaken overnight. But something far more dangerous happened. The world changed faster than China did. And that may have cost it the future. Because while headlines still talk about China as the unstoppable factory of the world, behind the scenes, the system that powered its rise is quietly running out of fuel. And the country most people think will replace China. That assumption might be wrong too. For decades, China ran the most effective growth machine in modern history. Cheap labor, massive scale, open global trade, and a world addicted to low-cost goods. Factories moved east, supply chains followed. Entire industries vanished from the West. China didn't just participate in globalization, it designed its operating system. Between 2000 and 2010, China averaged nearly double-digit growth, unheard of for an economy that large. Cities like Shenzhen exploded from fishing towns into manufacturing giants. Hundreds of millions escaped poverty. For a moment in history, it looked like China had cracked the code permanently. But no growth model lasts forever. And here's where the story starts to bend. China didn't slow down because it failed. It slowed down because it succeeded. As China grew richer, wages rose. Factories had to pay more. Workers demanded more. Living standards improved. Great for people, bad for the low-margin manufacturing machine. Factory wages in China more than doubled in just over a decade. At the same time, demographics flipped. The workforce peaked. Birth rates collapsed. The endless supply of young labor that powered factories simply stopped growing. And that forced China to lean on a different engine: property. For years, real estate filled the gap. Local governments sold land. Developers borrowed aggressively. Families poured savings into apartments that seemed guaranteed to rise. Construction fueled demand for steel, cement, appliances, furniture, everything China made. Then, the cycle snapped. Developers defaulted. Projects froze. Sales collapsed. Local governments lost revenue. Confidence evaporated. A sector that once powered growth began dragging the entire economy down. And just as China struggled to rebalance, the world itself turned hostile. You've been misled. This isn't about China collapsing. It's about globalization, the system that built China, breaking apart. Trade stopped being neutral. Technology stopped being shared. Supply chains stopped being optimized for cost and started being optimized for risk. Advanced chips became strategic weapons. Tariffs returned. Companies stopped trusting single-country dependence. When access to foreign semiconductors was cut, entire product lines vanished overnight. Suddenly, even profitable Chinese firms faced invisible ceilings. You could still export, but you couldn't control the future layers of technology. Corporations didn't abandon China, they hedged. Vietnam absorbed electronics. Mexico leveraged geography. Indonesia used natural resources. But one country started attracting everything. India, not loudly, not instantly, but consistently. And here's the part almost everyone misunderstands. India isn't copying China's playbook. It never could. Instead of starting with factories, India started with services, software, accounting, compliance, global operations. Millions trained to manage complexity, not just assembly lines. Now manufacturing is being layered on top. Phones, autos, electronics, not because India is cheapest, but because it's manageable. But India's real advantage is invisible. Digital identity, instant payments, automated verification. Systems that quietly eliminate friction businesses hate. This doesn't make headlines, but it compounds fast. But this isn't a fairy tale. Manufacturing is still a small slice of India's economy. Infrastructure remains uneven. Power cuts, ports, roads all add hidden costs. And inequality is a serious threat. High-tech factories don't employ millions, they employ specialists. If growth stays narrow, domestic demand stays weak. If demand stays weak, scale stalls. That's how promising economies plateau. So here's the uncomfortable truth. China didn't lose dominance. It reached the limit of an old model. India isn't replacing China. It's competing in a different game. The future doesn't belong to the cheapest factory. It belongs to countries that are flexible, politically survivable, and operationally simple. Supply chains will be split. Production will be duplicated. Efficiency will be sacrificed for resilience. And that changes everything. China is still powerful. India is still unproven. Vietnam, Mexico, and Indonesia are still rising. The real winner won't be one country. It will be the companies and nations that adapt fastest to fragmentation. The era of single-country dominance is ending, and the race to define what comes next has already started. Because China isn't standing still. Its next move could shock everyone again. That's the story you need to see next. Subscribe, share, stay ahead.